Welcome to Bonfire Conversations. I'm Hamitreza Nikofar, and today I'm sitting down with Mor Loushy, one of the boldest documentary filmmakers working today. Mor has a gift for taking stories we think we already know and making us feel them in a completely new way. Her recent Netflix hit documentary, American Manhunt, Osama Bin Laden, is a masterclass in tension, craft, and storytelling. So much so that it's sitting at 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. The three-part series take us deep inside one of the most dramatic manhunts in modern history, the decade-long search for Osama Bin Laden and the Navy SEAL mission that ended it. Blending interviews with key players, gripping archival footage, and cinematic reenactments, the documentary puts viewers right at the heart of the story that shaped the 21st century. In our conversation, we dive into the origin of the project, the challenges of editing a story of this scale, the pulse-pounding score, the seamless reenactments, and how Mor and her team balance truth, accuracy, and emotion. We also talk about his trust, controversy, and what it means to tell stories that don't just inform, but resonate. And of course, we wrap things up with our Penny for Your Thoughts segment, where Mor shares her favorite films, her thoughts on AI and documentary, filmmaking, and what courage means in everyday life. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to Bonfire Conversations if you're enjoying the show. This is my conversation with Mor Loushy. You're a badass filmmaker, and I'm so excited to talk to you. Recently I watched a new Netflix documentary, American Manhunt, Osama Bin Laden, which is 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. And first off, congratulations. It's crazy. It's nothing short of a masterpiece, in my opinion. Second, once it starts, you can't stop watching it. I've been very familiar with the story of Bin Laden's capture mission, and because of that, I didn't watch the documentary when it first came out. But I'd heard so much about it. I heard about it being thrilling and refreshing in a way. It tells the story that I got so curious to watch it, at least an episode. And about 10 minutes in, you realize this is something different, man. So I'm very curious about it. Tell me about the origin of this project. How did it come about? And what intrigued you to tell this story and that has already been told so many times?
So first of all, I'm only half. My husband and I work together.
Yeah.
We co-direct and do everything together, and I love it. So the production company, The Cut, which is, they're amazing people, really. And they approached us and asked us, what do we think? That they suggested this idea, and they have this brilliant producer that was on 60 Minutes before, and they have an amazing access to the story. And that, the new angle also is really from the women of the CIA that worked on that mission for 12 years. And also when we started looking at, what has been done, we understood that there's no, really story that goes throughout the 12 years. And generally, I think when we, are doing films, we're not looking for, what new stuff are we telling, the things that are interesting to us is there a good story here? Is there drama? Is there, twists and turns and cliffhangers? And can we make this a thriller? Can we make it, feel that the viewer will feel that he's sitting on the front seat of the car, and that he's in the experience together, that it's not a history class in any way. This is actual drama in action. And, when we understood the access that they had, and that it's really like first testimonies, like first person testimonies, we said, of course, we would love to do that. And during, the filming and everything, we met people that were really very, very high up in the mission. And it was so intriguing. So intriguing to get to know them, to see the characters, to hear their story. And obviously they can now, after so many years, they can speak very openly about it. So yeah, it was terrific.
Wow. Yeah. While watching it, I was paying attention to how it's structured because I knew exactly what was going to happen and what people would say at many points. But still, it felt like watching a thrilling Hollywood spy action. That there are a lot of different techniques I noticed that I'm curious to talk to you about. First off, let's begin with the editing. How do you even begin editing and putting something as huge as this together? And tell me about the process and the way that you approached making it as exciting as it is.
So first of all, it doesn't matter that it's a documentary. First of all, we do a research and we meet everyone. Today also with Zoom, like me and you are talking, it's so easy.
Yeah.
So meeting everybody, understanding the stories, what do they have to tell? And then Daniel and I are sitting down and are writing a script.
Wow.
Even before we go and shoot the interviews, we know exactly what is the story in our mind that we want to tell. Now, the script can change many times during the process, but at least we always have a first script before we go and film to know on what do we want to focus, what is the things that are interesting to us. And of course, it also to us, it's also very much character-driven stories. It's not just, the dry actions. We're here to get the emotion, to get really to tell an experience from first person is to get an emotion out of the person that is telling you that, really to take him minute by minute by minute on the actions, that it would feel like a drama. And, and since it was 12 years, what is important, what isn't important. And with Bin Laden, we had the challenge that it's at least, I think, 6 years in between, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And how do you tell a story? And it's a 12-year manhunt. And some people that worked on it then left, then came back. But you want to keep, a tight cast. So how exactly do that? Those were our challenges in, what is the stories that we want to tell? And of course, also, reflect the history, reflect the story. And there's a full generation, I think. I mean, to me, obviously, I remember exactly where I was, what did I do on 9/11, but there's a full generation, I think, that doesn't even remember the event, doesn't even remember how he was caught or what was the story. So we're coming out from a position where blank page, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, this is important that these significant events in the history should be told over and over because, the new generation, they open up Netflix and see, all right, it's a documentary 10 years ago about this. Oh, this is old. This is up the kids now. This is old stuff. I don't want to watch that. But when they see this is something new, they're going to approach it. By the way, you mentioned that you remembered when at 9/11, where were you at 9/11?
I was at the bar drinking, and then I saw it,
Wow.
in the television, and I had so many friends living in New York at that time, and family and friends, and I mean, I remember that day. Of course, it was.
I was
so big.
I was 10 years old back then.
10 years, yeah.
The day that it happened, it was my sister's wedding.
Really? Wow.
We opened up the news and oh my God.
Wow. How old was she when she got married?
I was 10 years old.
And your sister?
My sister, I think 27, 25 or
Oh,
so.
wow.
A good thing that there was no phone or something back then, because otherwise people would always be
Yeah.
on their phone. Someone would go out and check out the news and would come back and tell the guest, like, oh, this happened. Oh, this.
And, you know,
Yeah.
just still in the, like when we began working on the project, and me and Daniel, you know, we're visiting New York at that time 2 years ago. We said, okay, we want to see the monument before we start working on such a project. And I mean, it's insane. It's insane that, you know, two buildings just, it's like this.
Yeah.
Two.
I mean, it's so scary. I mean, no matter how many times you see it, I mean, the beginning of this documentary, it's a horror film. It was so scary.
It is, you know, terror is, it's scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the message that I do hope that people will take, you know, that it doesn't matter if you catch, it's an idea, right? It's not one person.
Yeah.
And the education and everything in it, I think that's, you know, equal for everyone and equal for all human beings. And I think that is really, really essential at the end of the day.
Yeah. You mentioned about researching this, and I'm always curious about going. It's kind of something very scary to me. I mean, like going to make a documentary. I'm like, oh, what if I messed up the research? What if I missed something? What if I understand something differently and people watching, are you crazy? This is not the way it happened. So, first off, how long did it take for you to research this?
I think we were probably 3 months, 4 months before we started shooting. But then, like, we read everything, we see everything, we write a script, we meet people, you know, we understand the full picture. Like, I always joke that on every film that we do, you know, we can do a PhD on the subject. Like, really, like on every film that we made, we became encyclopedia for you know, for the subject. And I think it is very important when you go to interview somebody. I never go without, if you wrote a book, I will always read the book before. I will always see, you know, all of the interviews that he gave on television. Like, we like to work even before we go out to shoot. We have the best archive team. And I like, you know, to see all of the interviews, for example, that Leon Panetta gave. I watched each and every one of the interviews from the 90s until today.
Wow.
So we prepare very, very well. And then, you know, and then we're not alone. We're a huge team of producers, legal advice, fact checking. You know, it's such an important stage, Netflix, that you're not alone. And you can't, even hopefully, if I will make a mistake, and I hope I don't, but, you know, then there is a fact behind me. I'm not, you know, a lot of fact-checking producers, story producers are in the same boat with us.
Yeah. And also, I'm very curious that you mentioned the interviews. How do you gain the trust of the interviewees when the subject matter involves secrecy, trauma, and sometimes national security? And some of the things they say is like, are they allowed to say this?
So first of all, we were very lucky. As I said, you know, Michael Rodetsky, he was the producer, and he had very, very long ties to the people. He knew them from 60 Minutes. And you know, it's a relationship. And then you meet, and sometimes it takes time to convince. And sometimes it's like, you know, it's like a house of cards. Someone agree, and then all the rest agrees, or you do the first round of interview, and they see that you're okay, and, you know, and then other people agrees as well. So, you know, outreach and research is something huge in documentaries,
Yeah.
because I think that, you know, this is really the key for good storytelling. This is, for me, this is the key. The right characters, and really to feel that they were there.
Yeah. And are these interviews done in one session? Like, or
Not always.
So there's a lot of dedications from the people that interview.
Very much so. And most of the interviews, like the big interviews, especially the, you know, like Mike Morrell and people who were there for the whole 12 years, I think it was 2 different interviews, each one of 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God.
You know, so yeah, long interviews and long days, and sometimes there are people that we interview twice, because we, you know, because after 5-6 hours, it's difficult to sit on the chair straight.
Wow. Yeah, some of these interviews, they are so crazy and so interesting that it's like, oh my God, it's like it's an actor here. It's not like, it's so dramatized and so well spoken. And I'm curious, are you like pushing these people to be like this, or they're naturally just turn on the camera, they're like,
I don't believe in pushing people. Never.
Yeah.
I don't push no one. Never, ever.
Yeah.
It's not my style. I definitely not pushing anyone. I'm curious. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm showing interest. That's it. You know, I'm not pushing anybody. I'm really, really curious. And then I'm asking questions that I'm interested in, you know? And again, like, we have also kind of an idea of the script. So I know where I'm going with the story.
Yeah, that's very important.
Then it's changes, you know? If somebody tells me, so I'm listening. I'm not there, you know, I'm not coming with any of ideas of what he should say. I'm there, I'm listening. And sometimes, you know, there's also people that we interviewed that did not enter the cut eventually.
Yeah.
There are interviews that you leave in the editing floor.
Yeah. I'm a music composer, and Jasha Klebe, is that the right pronunciation of his name? The composer of the film?
Jasha, and the US name, I hope we pronounce it. He is a genius. I adore him. He's fantastic. We love him, and you know, and our next project is also together with Jasha. He's a genius, really. We were very blessed to meet him.
Yeah, he's has done one of the best scores of the year, in my opinion. Aside from the fact that the score is a beast that makes your heart pump like crazy, it's also very smart and delicately put together. The nature of documentaries like this requires people talking, and they're not voice actors, just normal people. Plus, there are a lot of fast-paced shots and information going on visually, so the audibility of the voice, to not lose the focus of the audience, is very important. Usually, they just put down the music until it's basically a noise in the background, or pull it back up when there is a pause in dialogue. But this documentary, it's not like that. Music is full blown there, and
I think
still the mix is perfect.
Works, you know, music is such an important tool as a storyteller. For us, it's the music is not covering the story. It's a really important tool in all of our films. Daniel, my partner, has a very, very good ear, and you know, it's a real tool, not only in Osama, but other projects. You know, we worked in the past also with Dudu Aram and on Camp Confidential and other films. You know, for us, the music is so important. It's always the collaboration with the musicians are one of the most important things to us in, you know, in making a doc.
Yeah. And I think the reason is that Jasha score, the reason that it's so like present is that he scored the entire thing around the mid frequencies of the human voice. I was listening to the soundtrack album, awesome album by the way, and the focus is on the low and high ends of the frequency spectrum.
I'll tell him he would be so thrilled to hear that, and he deserves all the compliment in the world, And
yeah, I was thinking about interviewing him as well. He's my favorite new composer.
He's amazing, and Netflix. They introduced him to us, and it was an amazing match.
Wow. I'm so happy you mentioned that next project you're gonna work with him. Please.
Yeah.
He's awesome. All right. So there are some reenactment scenes in the documentary that are perfectly blended in the story. So sometimes it's very difficult to tell that what's real and what's not, what's shot specifically for the film. Tell me about the shooting those scenes and how you decided which incident to portray as something that is not real.
So the reenactments we always do last because we want to see what material do we have. The raid, we knew always that we want to film it. That obviously there's no footage from the raid, and it's the catharsis of the series, and we knew that we have to film that moment in order to really feel. For us, it's not the reenactment, there's some glossy reenactments in some other films. For us, again, it's another tool to tell the story. We want the viewer to really feel the scene. And then according to that, we're choosing the reenactments that we want to do to any project, if any. Right now we're working on a project that we didn't do any of those. So it's always about the project and what the story needs, and what is the right approach for each project. From a project to project, it changes. And with this, we wanted to feel real. So it shows the cameras that the SEALs actually shot when they were there. We did a huge research on exactly how was it. And, and we found this amazing location outside of LA that, a lot of sets has filmed in. And we did the approach and also we didn't have a lot of time. We had, I think, less than 12 hours to film everything. So we used, every actor had a camera on him because it was, like the real cameras that the SEALs themselves filmed. So we did it like as real as possible. They ran and they were with the cameras, and we tried to do it as real as possible with the right cameras in order to feel reenactment. And then House of Parliament, they did also the graphics, and they did also an amazing job with the reenactments.
Yeah. By the way, I'm curious, what do you think about Zero Dark 30, the movie, Catherine Bigelow?
I love Catherine Bigelow. I think that she's smart and such a good director, really.
Yeah. Interesting thing, was the character Tina in the documentary.
The what?
Tina? Was her name Tina? What was the girl in the main?
She obviously she's in Shadows and.
Yeah. Tina, right?
I don't remember what was the name in the series, but yes, she worked. She was
the character in Zero Dark 30, right?
I think that Zero Dark 30 is a few characters, the one that was the Maya character, I think, disappeared.
Maya, yeah.
Maya,
yeah.
She disappeared, but it wasn't only Maya, right? There was huge, there was not huge, but there was a couple of people in that team. And I think that she was also a couple of different characters. I don't know. You have to ask Catherine Bigelow exactly.
Yeah.
But no, we did. We had We had the characters that we had, and I love each and one of them. I mean, they were great people to interview and so interesting. And
yeah. Now that we've talked about Catherine Bigelow, do you ever like think that you make like a non-documentary film? Like,
never. I'm not
if you had,
interested. I do not have the dream of doing fictions. I'm not interested in that. I love the research. I love meeting real people. I love to tell real stories. I love my profession so much. I mean, and the documentary community has come really to a place where, I remember 20 years ago, it was, documentary, they're boring. No, they're not boring. Now we're in an era that the documentary films are getting even sometimes more rating than fictional shows.
Yeah.
And, I love my work. I have no dreams whatever in doing fiction. Not interested at all.
That is beautiful that you love it so much, and it shows. All right, Mor, we're moving to another section of the podcast called Penny for Your Thoughts.
Ooh, yes.
We're asked some deep and sometimes silly questions to get to know my guest better. So are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. First one coming up. Do you think history is ever truly objective?
No.
Or is it always filtered through who tells the story?
Never objective.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one. What's your favorite food?
Food. Everything that my Daniel, my partner, is cooking for me.
Yeah.
I love the way he cooks. I don't go near the kitchen even. And everything he cooks for me is amazing.
Awesome. All right. Okay, next one. What does courage mean?
And I love sabzi, by the way.
Iranian food, huh?
I love Iranian food. I'm half Persian, just so you know.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Persian. I love gondi and I love sabzi and love this food so much.
That is a huge twist here. Awesome. All right. Okay. Next one. What does courage mean to you? Not on the battlefield, but in everyday life.
This life, I feel, especially now that I have 2 kids, and courage is every day. It's really like every day to get up of bed and to be you. It gives courage. To be a human being, like really, I think that the world has gone crazy. Be a human being, and courage to me is to care for somebody else and to understand that in order to live a good life, other needs to live a good life. It's not either or that, to be good people, to really be good people, and to have faith, to have hope that wars and violence are just not the answer. For me, that's courage. To say no to wars, to say no to taking part of things that are hurting other people.
That is beautiful. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one, which is silly. Your top 5 favorite films ever.
Oh my! It's not silly. It's very, very difficult. Can I skip this question? I mean,
no. Just give me something that on top of your head, right?
5 films top of my head. So many of them.
What was the last great film you've watched this year?
This year, ooh. This year has been so difficult. We haven't, we were moving.
You were working on this huge project.
It was this year was crazy. We moved to New York, but so many. I mean, Apocalypse Now, any film of The Godfather, Sopranos. Still, I think best series ever. Golden Tour, like Sopranos for me. Oh my God, I just been to New Jersey a few days ago. I'm like, Tony Soprano, that's to me. Wild Wild Country, if you look at docs, loved it. Did a brilliant job. The series about OJ, but the 8-hour series.
Yeah.
And that won the Oscar. What's the name of it? It was a must.
People versus OJ?
OJ.
Is that it?
The 8 hours series, the doc series, 8 hours. The Oscar.
I think it was called People versus OJ. I don't know.
No, not that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll find the name later. Staircase, for me, it's one of, and I think that political docs for me also was, Checkpoints was one of the films that really influenced me on me wanting to be a documentary filmmaker.
Yeah. You've mentioned first film you mentioned, Apocalypse Now. Have you seen Heart of Darkness, the documentary about making
I loved
Apocalypse
it.
Now? Yeah.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. All right. Okay, moving on to the next question. What's heavier for a filmmaker, the responsibility to truth or the responsibility to emotion?
And truth and emotion are sometimes very, very connected to each other, I feel.
And a great example is this documentary.
I mean,
as I've mentioned.
Again, truth is sometimes objective. And I think that the emotion is sometimes even stronger than any word anyone can say, Yeah. So I think that it goes both ways together.
Yeah. Next one. Pixar approaches you to make an animation. What will you pitch?
We did one animation film.
Have you? Yeah. Oh yeah. What was the name of it?
Camp Confidential. It was like a documentary animated film. Yes, It was a wonderful experience. It did very, very well, and it was really like, wow, an amazing experience. But I don't think I would ever do that again. I love watching, and I don't know. Yeah, now I like watching animated
because of the kids
with my kids. But I think even as a kid, I didn't like animation. I never, like first film I cried was E.T. I was never into rest of the kids in my age were in. No, I watched E.T. I watched Dirty Dance. I watched, I never liked animation so much, to be honest.
So, how this is the next question. How is AI going to change documentary filmmaking for better or worse?
It's going to change the world. It already is changing the world, AI. I mean, it does. It's just, and you can't, it's scary. It's genius. It's scary. Everything together, right? Like ethics here would be very important. And I don't know how the world is going to face that challenge. It's so new and has so many things in it. It's so crazy. Even now, for example, recreation on a project that there is only stills. You can turn it with AI to real videos. I mean, it's a whole new world. It's too young to even, but it's genius and it's scary.
Yeah. A crazy thing that I've recently experienced with AI was, I remember the tsunami like a month ago in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the TV and they didn't have a footage from how it affected that city in Russia, but they like inserted the data like of the magnitude of the tsunami, and they recreated with AI and played it back on the news.
Wow.
So you had like
insane people are doing insane stuff. On the one hand, I saw projects that I didn't have anything to do with them, but on history, that people doesn't have footage and suddenly it comes to life and it's amazing. But sometimes it can also be very, very ethically problematic. So
Yeah.
it's already changing the world, no doubt about it.
All right, moving on to the next question. What's one small moment in life that for you feels more powerful than any headline?
In my personal life?
Could be anything. Yeah.
The birth of my kids, of course.
Wow.
The kids are the most important thing to me ever. This is the most precious thing to me in my life.
Like, has it changed you?
Every day changes you to be a different person, of course. I mean, they taught me so many things. We've been through with them so many things. We changed countries with them. Of course, it changed me. It changed my thoughts as a mom also. I think when I'm interviewing people, sometimes I can understand more. My emotions are richer. My understanding on caring from other human being is so much deeper than before I was a mom. But yeah, it changes you. Of course it does.
All right. Next one. If there's going to be a season 2 of American Manhunt, who do you think would be the best subject?
Oh, wait and see. Stay tuned. We're working.
What's my favorite?
Already working on some art.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Do you know, because I was thinking about it, like, oh, this is such a great subject. This is an awesome documentary series. I can't wait if they make a season 2 of this. I was like thinking, oh, who do I want to see? All right, don't mention anything because I know you can't talk about it. But my favorite would be Adolf Eichmann. That would be a great American Manhunt. But that is not American, actually.
We did The Devil Next Door. Daniel did, my partner, The Devil Next Door Netflix. Watch it.
Oh my God, I have seen that documentary.
It's about the Mianiuk trial, and it's also fantastic. It's really
awesome. I've seen it. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh my God. All right. Okay. Final question.
Yes.
As someone who interviews people from 0 to 10, how would you rank my interviewing skills?
10. I hate doing interviews myself. I hate it. And before I came up, I'm like, can I cancel on him like minutes before? I really don't want to do it. Like, no. And you were 10. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. You are
awesome. That is great news.
Good luck with your podcast. I really enjoyed it, and it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, in my opinion, you're the superhero the world needs. Those with camera and pen who risk a lot to speak their truth no matter the barriers. And they have the power to change the world, but that requires courage. You are courageous and in a rare mix, very talented in filmmaking.
And courageous as well, and keep safe. And be yourself all the time. And it's great what you're doing. I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you. I'm in awe of your art and inspired your courage and touched by your personality. Thank you so much for giving me your time to talk.
Thank you. And peace to everyone.